Parents understanding how important play is something that we in education, psychologists, pediatricians, educators, all get. And parents have a hard time wrapping their heads around this because I think with adults, play is recreation. It's the thing you don't do when you're working. But if you think about what it gives you, it's enormous. Adults think about play as being something secondary to work. In the life of a child, play is essential. It is how they work. And so it's very important to understand that the connection between play and learning is an essential thing. It's not something that comes after another activity, but it comes because that is the way they really learn about the world around them and to understand and process things. It's actually the doing of it that's so important rather than the outcome of what it is. So when you think about how play is important, it helps everything. It helps them connect and understand how to work with others. It helps them problem solve and learn about the world around them. And it makes them flexible and think about new ways of doing different kinds of things. It's the essential way that children learn. When you think about how kids learn, they set their own agendas. They will challenge themselves to the highest level. If you think about, take the image of a child learning to go hand over hand on outdoor bars, and you watch them, and they do it over and over and over again. They do it to the point that they have calluses on their hands. There's very few things. They're setting their own agenda, so they're going to challenge themselves to the very highest level. What that does is have them do it and fail, and do it and fail, and do it and fail, and keep trying. It builds resilience. It builds the opportunity for them to really capture the idea that you can do something and fail at it and continue to do it until you achieve the highest level of doing that. You're always having to challenge resilience something. You set up blocks that you're building blocks and they fall down. Well, they figure out another way to make that work. So each time they do that, they're realizing that that attempt is really how they're going to figure out and learn things. Especially in the early years of childhood and going to school, play is the way in which teachers teach skills. You're also out in the world and experiencing the world. So, for example, with outdoor play, what you're doing is you're experiencing water and wind and earth and gravity. And when you think about how that experience connects to when you're learning about math and science and language, play is so language rich that all of those things are the connectors to math, science, reading, and understanding and writing. You have to have those real world experiences through play in order to really be connected to the learning that happens in the classroom. Play is so foundational to learning because they're developing the physical skills they need to do the kinds of things in school. They learn the social skills. They learn cooperation. They learn empathy. They learn how to be part of a group, which is really essential for that as well. And also, it allows them to really empathize, which is the critical foundation you need for being moral. Empathy, understanding someone else's feelings through play is a really important foundation for moral development also. And academics. The academic part of learning is really important to have play in because when you're learning how to read and to write and to do math and understand science, play allows children to sort of relate to those things in a very, very concrete kind of way. They've experienced it out in the world. They've experienced through play on their own terms without being frustrated, with being challenged and stimulated by it. But then when it comes back to them in an academic sense, they can relate to it in a very real world kind of way. I think parents need to think about playing with kids as following their lead. You are not the director anymore. You are the supporting cast member in that, and you let the child lead. I think what's first best is to start with what children are really interested in. If your child is really interested in imaginary and pretend play, what you can do is provide props. You can give them costumes at home or scarves to play with or kitchen tools or things to do. Give them the props to help them do that. They will lead you into the play. They'll assign you a part. Go with it. Just go along with it. If that makes you uncomfortable and you don't do that, just watch. I think if you just watch how a child plays, you'll learn something about your child's skills and their strengths, but also you'll learn something about their fears.